Okay, hi everybody. Um, so I have something very interesting to show you today. Um, I have been on a quest to do budget AI, right? Like, so I want to do AI on a cheap, which is why I'm doing it on a potato laptop with an eGPU all the time because it allows me for some flexibility to test some GPUs that are cheaper for uh, things like text generation, image generation, all that inferencing stuff, and some light training. Now, for training, like CUDA is pretty much the way to go for me. So eGPU allows me to kind of just take things in and out as needed. But sometimes for inferencing, it might be interesting to play around with cheaper GPUs so AI is more accessible. I also like doing CPU inferencing too if memory bandwidth permits. Anyway, one thing I've been exploring lately is inferencing using Intel GPUs. Like it's been an interest of mine for a while, but I've never been able to get it done correctly. And so I'm determined now to explore various options. Um, I have an Intel Arc A770. I also have a B580, and I have now gotten an Intel Arc B50. So this one is a workstation class GPU, and it's not the fastest thing, but it has 16 gigs of VRAM, and notice how it doesn't have any power, external power necessary to make it work. I've already installed the regular bracket onto this thing, and so I'm going to just put it onto my eGPU and then see how it goes. So yeah, it's just simple. And I'm going to probably compare this with the B580, which is a 12 gigabyte card. I think both of them are kind of around the same like price tier. This one's probably like 300. I think I got this for like 300 something dollars, and then my B580 was much cheaper on sale a while back. So and that's actually a very good card. I use it all the time on my Lunar Lake laptop, and it's very handy. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to install this card into my eGPU enclosure, and then I'm going to walk you through what this card really is, and then we'll install the drivers, and then hopefully check out Intel's AI playground. I think like I could probably run that on this laptop. It's an AMD Ryzen 5 laptop, so I'm not sure if that makes any difference, but we'll see. All right, stay tuned. Okay, so I've installed the card into the eGPU enclosure. Actually, I was unsure whether or not this is going to work because the eGPU enclosure has like power, and I think it expects a card to be plugged in, but it looks like just by plugging in the card, the PCIe slot itself is probably already being powered by the built-in power supply. So it looks okay. I see that Windows has already recognized the card, even though it doesn't have the driver. But before we do anything, let's just take a look at what this card is all about. There's two variants for the Intel Arc Pro B series graphics cards. There's the B50 and the B60. I don't think you could buy the B60 in stores. You had to probably buy it through like a system vendor inside already a built-in system. So we're stuck with the B50 today. Okay, let me just make that bigger. Anyway, I don't know what's up with this website, but yeah, this will probably be a nice picture here. So the B60 has 24 gigs of VRAM, and the B50, the one that we're going to be looking at today, is 16 gigs. And the B60 has up to 456 gigabytes per second memory bandwidth. Of course, the B50 is going to be lower than that. So yeah, this card isn't really geared towards like AI directly. It's more for like workstations, like for CAD and 3D modeling and things like that. But they didn't say that AI is not an option. What we want to play around with today is going to be AI Playground, and it's like an all-in-one package from Intel that allows you to do a lot of AI inferencing tasks using Intel hardware. So it doesn't have to be like Intel GPUs. It could also be like the Intel CPUs and NPUs and so on. So I think the term that's used for Intel is called the XPU. So I think that's X being like CPU, GPU, and NPU in this case. So I'm pretty excited to try this one out, especially with the Arc B50, see what it's all about. And then we'll probably do the same thing here with the B580 later. Okay, so what else do we have here? Okay, so what's interesting again about the B550 is that it's only 70 watts board power, so you do not need any external power. And another thing I would like to 170 tops, that's cool. But another point I would like to make is that I am actually not going to use this GPU for AI. I'm going to use it for something else on Home Lab. I'm going to use it for SRIOV when the drivers do come out. So I want to be able to create some virtual machines with 3D hardware acceleration just from this card. So like split the resources of this card into various virtual machines that can then just be run as like VDI scenario, like just hook up a mini PC as a thin client and then remote desktop into a more powerful computer with some 3D acceleration just to do some tasks. And that's what I'm excited to play around with, because SRIOV is such a cool feature that is limited to like only the most expensive cards. But Intel here, like low key has created, I hope, something very interesting. So here's the SKUs, and then we can look at the specs of the B50. So the B50 has Xe2 cores, so it's iteration on top of the Alchemist. So this is Battle Mage. It's launched recently. There's 16 Xe cores in here, and the graphics card is running at 2600 megahertz, I think. Yeah, max, and then base is 1700. So GPU tops. This is interesting how Intel advertises this. Basically, at int 8 operations per second is going to be 170 trillion integer 8-bit integer operations per second. It's PCI Express 5x8, but here we're going to be at PCIe, I think 3x4 because Thunderbolt. I have an Oculink thing coming soon. I hope that makes things faster, but it's going to be kind of hacky because I had to like use a M.2 slot and all that stuff. But yeah. Okay, so there's 16 gigs of GDDR6 VRAM, 128-bit bus. So that kind of just hints, with this bus speed, is going to hint at a pretty low memory bandwidth. It's going to be 224 gigabytes per second. And if you remember our DGX Spark, if you remember taking a look at the memory bandwidth of this one here, let me just zoom in. This one is 256-bit memory bus with 273 gigabytes per second bandwidth. And then if we look at Strix Halo, Strix Halo specs, a Strix Halo computer. So okay, so again, I'm sorry, bandwidth. Okay, so yeah, here it says 256 gigabytes per second memory bandwidth. So the performance of what we expect from our B50 is going to be well in line with the DGX Spark and the various Strix Halo computers out there. In fact, it's going to be probably even slower. And not only that, there's less VRAM. But again, we're interested in playing around with AI Playground, and also SRIOV, right? And these two things don't support that here. So, okay, so we have ray tracing, we have hardware encoding, and all that other good stuff. Okay, so let's install some drivers. I hope this is going to work. So let's go to support. Let's do go to download center, and then B50 is what we're going to be searching for. B50 drivers. I hope it's just like straightforward Intel Arc. Yeah, Intel Arc Pro graphics. I think we want the Pro one because B50 is considered Pro. So let's just download it. It looks recent, 9.2. Okay, and we'll download that, and then we're going to install it. And I think I can still record while I'm installing, at least to a certain point in time, and then after that you're just going to magically see the drivers be installed. So let's start this up here, and then we'll eventually see this as like an Intel Arc, most likely. I think I clicked on the package already. So okay, great. Let's hope it recognizes a supported card connected to this thing. I don't know about Linux support yet, so I'm going to have to try that on Linux eventually. But right now, I'm really liking Windows 11 and WSL. It's very flexible. Okay, cool. So we have this. Okay, let's read this. This looks very important. The graphics driver package is bundled with graphics device firmware. Please close all running programs, including video playback, before continuing with the installation of the graphics drivers and firmware updates. An updated HDMI firmware may be available for your system. Please ensure your display remains on and connected via HDMI during the entire installation process to successfully update your firmware. Okay, guys, I'm going to have to pause the recording because this seems very, very important. I'm going to actually exit every single program that might be using my GPU, including, for example, LM Studio, maybe Warp, also VS Code, and all this other stuff. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to just install the drivers peacefully, and then hopefully nothing bad happens to my computer, and I'll see you soon. Okay, so I almost ended up breaking the card. I don't know what, but it's installed now. So I actually ended up having a black screen, maybe because well, in the middle of installation, the drivers turned the screen black, and I didn't know what to do, so I just hard shut down. Wasn't even sure if it was in the middle of updating firmware or anything like that, but then I had restarted once more and just repaired the installation of the drivers, and then it appears now. But I'm concerned because the shared GPU memory here says 8 gigabytes, and well, about 8 gigabytes, and that worries me because this is actually a 16 gig card. And if I go to the Pro Graphics software here, it reports that it is 16 gig VRAM, but I don't have resizable bars, so I'm not even sure how to enable that on my system. But maybe that's probably the case. Yeah, so let's do this. Let's try to enable resizable bar and see what happens, because yeah, this kind of sucks if I only have 8 gigs of VRAM. So maybe this will show us something. I don't know. So yeah, metrics options. Yeah, okay. So let's get into. I'm gonna get into the BIOS, or at least the firmware of this laptop, and see what I can actually change, and then just see if things are better afterwards. Well, okay, I still have no clue. It's after a restart, it's still 7.4 gigabytes. I actually don't know what resizable bar is, so I'm going to look that up with GPT OSS 128B on my Spark and see what kind of answer it comes up with. Basically, what is resizable bar? Does it have anything to do with my GPU VRAM being reported as only having half the amount? is a 16 gigabyte GPU, but I only see 8 gigabyte. It is connected through Thunderbolt 3 to a laptop. Okay, so, well, resizable bar, what it is. Okay, so let's just kind of kick that out. So let's see. Okay, so full name resizable base address register. What it does, it lets the CPU see the GPU's video memory as a single contiguous address space that can be larger than the traditional 256 megabyte window used by older PCIe designs. Okay, so this is PCIe 3, I think, because of Thunderbolt. In practice, this means the CPU can read or write the whole VRAM buffer in one go instead of having to page swap small chunks. Why it matters: when enabled and supported by the CPU, motherboard, BIOS, UEFI, GPU firmware, and driver, it can give a modest performance bump in some games or compute workloads that stream a lot of data to the GPU. It does not change the amount of memory that the GPU actually has. Oh, crap. Okay, well, why you're only seeing 8 gigabyte out of a 16 gigabyte card? The reduction you're observing is almost certainly unrelated to resizable bar. The most common reasons for an eGPU reporting half of its VRAM are eGPU enclosure or Thunderbolt bridge limits. Okay, some older or low-cost enclosures only supports 8 gigabyte address space. Okay, well, I know this is a pretty expensive one. It's a Sonnet one. Cut down BIOS that caps memory to avoid driver conflicts. I don't think so, because I saw that my A4000 reports as 16 gigs. Windows, Mac OS, or Linux can misreport VRAM when the eGPU is attached. Maybe. Some laptops reserve a portion of system RAM. I don't really buy that. Okay. Well, you know what? Let's download GPU-Z and look at the memory size field. Okay, so this is what GPT OSS 120B says. Let's download a tool, like a proper tool, to see how much VRAM we really have. GPU-Z is one. Okay, sure, I'll do that. And then I know this works. This Thunderbolt thing is already connected, which is why it's here. Okay, so we know that it's, well, with an update available already. Maybe that'll fix the bug. Who knows? Okay, so let's just do this. Let's just download first this driver update. Okay, so let's run GPU-Z and then check. Yeah, it's probably just my enclosure. Maybe it's time to bust out a desktop, the one that I had my wormhole in. So GPU-Z. Okay, so let's download GPU-Z and see what we get. So I'll just download from any website. Okay. Install GPU-Z. Yeah, sure, let's just do it. We're gonna mess around with GPUs anyway, so okay. Okay, so let's see what we get here. I'm excited to see. Okay, so that's my Radeon. But I'm not interested in that one. I'm interested in this one. Okay, so is it gonna? Okay, cool. Battle Mage. Okay, so I'm connected at PCIe by 8 5.0, but it's at 5 by 4 3.0. Okay, it's being reported as 16 gigs, so maybe I don't have anything to worry about. Yeah, maybe we're good. Yeah, so right here it says 16,384 megabytes. Okay, I'll leave it be. Okay, I'm happy. Maybe Windows is just wrong. Okay, so now let's go to Intel AI Playground now that we have our GPU working. Actually, let's test out LM Studio too. Maybe LM Studio is gonna also see the GPU size. So okay, so we haven't messed around with this in a while, but let's see here. Is my recording? Okay, So let's see here. I think it's in our downloads. No, it's in our search. Yeah. So hardware, we have Vulkan VRAM capacity 15.88 gigabytes. So that's a good thing. Remind me later. Okay, so we can probably download GPT OSS 20B and see how that performs. And it'll be interesting because that was meant for 16 gig GPUs, and also it it how should I say this? It is in FP4, so maybe the memory bandwidth isn't that big of a deal. So, do I already have it? I don't have it, so let's just go for it. So GPT OSS 20B. Okay, so this is OpenAI's version. I think it's just safe to just download. Yeah, let's just download it. And that's going to take a while. So as we're doing that, let's take a look at AI Playground. So Intel's AI Playground. And this one, let's see. Is this recent? Or I feel like this should have been updated. It has been updated recently. Great. So yeah, let's take a look at what this is about. Okay, so AI Playground, an easy to use generative AI app suite for Intel AI PCs powered by Intel Arc GPUs, either built-in Intel Core Ultra processors or Intel Arc discrete GPUs. AI Playground is available as an open source project and packaged Windows desktop installer. Cool. New support for GPT OSS, okay, through llama.cpp, Vulkan, via llama C Vulkan. So we're not using any of the Intel APIs for this? That's interesting. Okay, fine. PyTorch 2.8, which is almost the newest version of PyTorch. Then you have Flux 1, which is image generation, WAN 2.1, video gen, OpenVINO for chat using GPU or NPU. We don't have one here. And then continue support for all the DeepSeek models, Stable Diffusion, Flux Schnell, which is the smallest image generation model for Flux, and then Comfy UI, which is going to be what we used, I guess, last time. So we can download this thing. Let's get the latest version. Yeah, so we definitely have an Intel Arc GPU with definitely more than 8 gigs of RAM. We do have a Series B, so let's do it. So we can just download that, the latest version, and then let's see, is this done downloading yet? Okay, that's kind of weird why it's taking so long. Oh, okay. All right, so I'm gonna download all this stuff and then come back later and install things. I'm gonna just do one thing at a time because I don't want to mess my computer up. Okay, so it's done downloading. I think what we can do is let's just manually load this thing. Let's actually create a new chat, and then let's load GPT OSS. It looks like we can almost fully offload everything. You know what? Let's just everything. We have enough GPU. Let's just do an 8K context. See if we can get away with that. 4 CPU threads. Yeah, it's not a very powerful computer. Okay, so let's load the model. We should be able to load all of it onto the GPU. To be honest, and we can look at our metrics here. I think. Let's see here. Okay, I guess I forgot that I do need RAM to load all this because I'm like stalling now. Okay, cool. Okay, so VRAM use 11.5 gigabytes. Okay, so we definitely have way more than the 8 gigabytes that Windows is reporting. So I have no idea what this even means. So because of that, I'm just gonna close this now. But we are using a lot of RAM. I feel like the computer is like really lagging right now. Perhaps, yeah. Okay, cool. We're getting there. Okay, so once we do that, let's just test with a simple question. Let's actually ask the same resizable bar question again, but this time with a smaller model. So it's done now. 13 gigs of VRAM used for 8K context. That's not bad. I mean, especially if you're the type that just asks one question at a time. Really, that's enough. Because if you look at this from Jan right here, this question was how many tokens total? Let's see. Metadata. Let's see here. Tokens. I guess not. Oh well. Oh, token count. 1,700 tokens. Okay, so I generally ask like one question at a time too. So 8K is plenty for just like this type of interaction. Anyway, let's go and fire the same question, but this time to GPT OSS 20B on this laptop using this card at 224 gigabytes per second bandwidth. And then let's see where we go from here. So if we take a look at metrics, GPU utilization is pretty high now, 95%. GPU frequency pretty high. And it's actually going pretty respectably. I mean, this is like I can tolerate something like this. This is pretty fast, and this is actually slightly slower than the DGX Spark and Strix Halo. So if you really think about it, you get one of these machines, especially the Strix Halo machines, you'll get something just slightly faster than this on GPT OSS 20B. Okay, so it's basically saying the same thing, except it feels a little more concise in this case. I think maybe because it's just a smaller model, but yeah, apparently you can enable resizable bar like this, or no, that's updating drivers. Yeah. PCIe memory window. Yeah, my BIOS is, since this is just a Lenovo laptop, it's not gonna have any of this stuff, so don't bother. Anyway, is there any stats that come from here that we're going to get soon? Let's wait and see. There we go. So 11 tokens per second here. Okay. Compared to the DGX Spark on a much bigger memory pool, it's about 52 here. So yes, it is still it's a slow card, but it's way faster than CPU inference. And I'm touching the card right now, and barely any heat coming from it at all. I wonder if there's temperature here too. Yeah, 56C, it went up to 64. So it's very quiet. I'm actually really liking this card. It's a little a good thing for like home labbing, I would say. Okay, so now that we are we've been able to test a basic language model, let's go to do what we really want to do here, and that's like install AI Playground and see what we can do with it too. I'm thinking about just using that same question again. It's handy. And then maybe we can generate image with Flux. I don't think WAN is gonna fit. It's a 16 gig GPU, so let's try Flux Schnell. I don't even know how big that one is, but if anything, we can go to Hugging Face and find some sort of model. I think we might be limited to whatever Intel AI Playground provides. So just gonna hit run AI Playground, and I'm going to allow. Okay, so here it's gonna ask for AI Playground required. Let's actually just also install Comfy UI with it, and then Llama CPP, GGUF. Just try to get this all integrated into one place, and then we'll just hit install, and then I think it's gonna take a while again, so we will come back to this. So it's all good now, and I think when it says restart, it just says to restart the service like this. I don't think it really means to restart the computer. But yeah, I think since everything's running after this, we can test the card. Not sure why it's taking a long time just to restart AI Playground, but let's go. Let's continue. Okay. So yeah, this is a very simple interface, I think, but we can do more advanced things on this side. So we see that inference device has been detected to be Arc Pro B50. And here we can actually go through some options through the UI to generate our first image. But we do have to download some models here. And we can, for now, let's just use like some default stuff and then see how like where we can go from there. So Juggernaut XL V9 I think is like the highest quality one, and then we can just yeah, just get all of this as default. Yeah, HD default outpaint whatever. Yeah, let's download the models. um I think we had to download them here. Yeah, let's just do that. So yeah, I've reviewed it. Let's confirm download, and then it's gonna download. I don't think it's gonna take too long. Again, pretty fast internet connection here. So yeah, this is one thing about AI, right? Like you have to download so many files, and I think like my disk space is already like starting to be filled, and there's only a 512 gig drive, and I've already downloaded so many of these models locally. So let's just yeah, I'm gonna wait, but basically you have to download all these models in the AI Playground first, and then you can finally load them up and use them. The card is still pretty quiet, and so yeah. Okay, so it was able to download the Juggernaut model. I think we also need. I'm not sure we need all of this stuff, but here we have all this as Juggernaut Excel. We'll just probably need the in painting, and then so we can just go here and probably download that. Yeah, another 7 gigs or so. Wow, this one's actually even bigger. But again, not even sure if I need all of this stuff, but we'll just get it in case. And then let's also download a language model that AI Playground recommends. I don't. I think it's just going to be a small language model. I just briefly saw it was Microsoft Phi or Phi, whatever you want to call it. Um, I think that's also one where it can utilize an NPU. You have it, but unfortunately, this laptop does not. But that's okay. I don't think we're at the point where we want to play around with that yet. We still have so much to do. We had to go back on that IDE web IDE project, and that was just like to just test local uh, language model coding scenarios, but I would like to just finish one thing in this video series, and then we also have other things like training and all that stuff. So this is a nice distraction just to play with some hardware I rarely ever get to. So okay, cool. So now we have I think the necessary bits to actually generate an image. Okay. So if I refresh, I don't know, whatever. Okay, so let's generate an HD quality. HD mode can result slower than normal performance on systems with less than 12 gigs of VRAM or 24 gigs of system memory on Core Ultra PCs. I know that. I have lots of VRAM. So generate a quality. Let's go for high quality, and then let's go for a 1536 by 640 resolution. Let's max out the steps. Let's just randomize some seed. Generated image number. Let's get three examples. Negative prompt, not safe for work. That's fine. Scheduler. We don't have options for this. Really? Okay. Well, that's fine. Our image model. We don't have a choice here too, huh? Oh, we have manual. Oh, I think this is what I want. Maybe manual is what we want. Oh, absolutely, yes. Okay, so we can use Juggernaut Excel, LoRa adapters. I don't think we need any of that. Okay, so we can use this. CFG, let's take it down to like 4 maybe. Scheduler, is there any simple ones? No, but let's use DPM SDE cars. I think this is a good one. What was the resolution before? Let's just do 1280 by 720. Okay. And then again, let's generate 3 images. Randomize seeds, max out the steps. We're going to generate, I guess, as high quality as possible here. And then our prompt is going to be cat sleeping on a gaming desktop computer, looking very cozy, looking very warm and cozy. Okay, so let's generate a few pictures of that and see what that looks like. Okay, so now let's take a look at our performance metrics here. So we haven't loaded up anything yet, since VRAM being used is still pretty little. But I do see it's starting to climb up, so it's at 1.1, 1.2 gigabytes now. So we're in a mode of loading up the model now. So let's see. So it's generating too. Okay, that's cool. GPU is working pretty hard. GPU temperature is at 58C. GPU power, we're using about 30 watts here. Yeah, so not much CPU utilization. Okay, so nothing's really coming up yet, but I suspect it's because VRAM is still, I think the model is still loading up, being loaded up into the GPU here before anything really happens. So far, I really do like the UI for the AI playground. It looks very easy to use and if it generates some pretty high quality stuff. I think this is like the thing I'm going to use. Okay, so now we're generating. We get to see the steps happen in real time. And it is working hard because I do hear some coil whine on it. Yeah, VRAM, why is it dropping? Oh, it's just relative. Okay, cool. We can tuck that aside, 67C. And yeah. Okay, I could tell that this is literally sleeping on a desk, but that's okay, I guess. But I can tell that the quality of this image is better than the Stable Diffusion one that was defaulted in the Spark. So that's good. But I wonder why I don't get a gaming computer. But that's okay. This I like the fur on this cat. This is actually a decent picture. And it's only took about 7 gigs of VRAM to do, so that's pretty impressive. And this is a 1280 by 720 picture too. So that's one, and I think it's gonna try to generate another one. Maybe did I specify that, or let's see. I did. Wait, that's GFG. I did generate image number. Interesting. Oh, I think it still is. I still have an option here. And what's the info here? Oh, that's so cool. This is like the settings. And okay, so you can, if you ever forget, you can always come back here with the settings to see how you generated that image. Okay, so here's another one. and since the model is already in memory, it is decently fast to just try and generate. I'm very impressed by the generation speed actually. It's not too bad. Again, only 7 gigs of VRAM used. So we can definitely load up a bigger model too. I'm gonna see if we can get Flux Schnell working, and there is a way to do that. I think outside of this UI, but it looks like we're just gonna get like relatively like the same type of pictures here, like with the same type of cat, and I don't even know what this thing is even sleeping on. It looks like a desk phone or something. So yeah, so let's just let it do that. There's also some, I guess we can download a language model here. Okay, that's phi or phi 3 mini 4K instruct. You know what, let's pass on that. I don't want to waste this space. I think what we really want to try out here, because we already know like how fast text inference it really is already, so it's not a big deal. In-ping, out-ping, I'm not sure what that is, but let's see if we can get into Comfy UI. So if we go to, for example, here, there's a workflow option, I believe. Yeah, I think this will actually take us to Comfy UI, and there's a Schnell workflow. Then create images. There's a medium quality. Okay, so maybe it's this one. High VRAM required. I wonder how high we're talking about. But looks like we don't have like tighter control, but let's go with 1152 by 640. That seems like a good resolution. And then let's also crank up the steps again, because I want something really high quality. Let's also initialize with seed, and let's just generate one picture this time. And looks like we don't have much others, but if we actually specify to go to Comfy UI, where would we go? Okay, so actually this is not the right browser. Let's go to the other browser. This driver finished already. Okay, let's just forget about that. Okay, so yeah, let's go to Comfy UI. You have a local instance of Comfy UI installed for you already, and I think that's like the advantage here, in that when you use AI Playground, you get a Comfy UI installed already with support for Arc GPUs already. In this case, these came out good. I like the cats that came out, but it's not exactly what I want. Let's first generate one here in AI Playground, and then see what we can come up with in Comfy UI. So let's do that one more time. Okay, so now we need all these models here. You have Schnell at Q4K. I hope that's not heavily quantized. Like I hope it's okay. Okay, so we've reviewed. Let's just download them. So again, it's gonna take a while, so we're going to just wait. But in the meantime, yeah, you know what? Let's just wait. Yeah. So far so good. Everything's good so far. So we know that if we were to use a B580, we definitely could run this Juggernaut model no problem, because here it was only taking about 7 gigs of VRAM. So let's see how big this model is. I suspect that we'll be fine here too. This thing is quantized to Q4KS, which means that looking at this here, it was probably like a 25 gig model, but now we're at 6.3. I just am hoping that does not affect the quality whatsoever. So okay, I'm not sure why the download quit. Is it because we ran out of disk space? My feeling is that we ran out of disk space. No, we still have some disk. Okay. Oh, it's just installing all the workflow stuff. All right. So one thing I'm really liking about Intel AI Playground um, is that it's just easy to use, and if you want to like quickly generate images with a little GPU like this, it's very convenient. Um, so I'm really liking that already. Kudos to Intel um, and their developers for making AI very accessible. Um, this is the reason why I still buy Intel products because I think that the ecosystem for AI is pretty good for like the hardware that they have. Haven't tried anything with AMD yet. Um, so I heard there's this thing called Lemonade, and that's kind of like an all-in-one tool too. But I think I'm not sure if that's just for language models. So okay, so now we're using Flux, and let's check out the VRAM being used. So we see that I think it's starting to load the model in at least. Yeah, it's definitely loading the model now. Okay, so if it starts to go, we'll start to see a lot of noise right here anyway. So yeah, we're at 3.4 now. I suspect that we just need to get to about 7 again. It's like perfect, right? It's how is it always 6 or 7 in this case? Okay, so maybe I'm wrong. Oh, oh, yeah, 7.5. Cool. Okay, so like given like all this is like for sure there's something wrong with Windows reporting like wrong VRAM amount. And have you noticed that this GPU is still only using about 30 something watts? That is very impressive for something very low power like this. So I mean, it might not be the most performant thing, but it uses very little power. I mean, if this is indication of anything, you can like probably get like 4 of these to get 64 gigs of VRAM total. For like what, assuming it's running at max load, 30 times 4 is like 120 watts only of power. Um, for that much VRAM, that's pretty cool, I think. Okay, so step one, already it's not even like you can already tell that it's generating something. That's impressive, but I'm a little worried that it's blurry. Um, I'm not even sure how this model works, but it looks like it tries to like generate many copies, maybe. Yeah, Quinn image is far superior so far, but I think it's just because this thing is quantized. Oh, that's odd. That's an odd picture, and we're using a much. That looks like a human, like a very large person, like just sleeping from far away. I decided to look at Windows Task Manager again. I find it very interesting that now the GPU is being reported correctly. I have no idea. I didn't even unplug or anything like that. It just started appearing this way. Maybe it's after I installed the AI Playground. It's like, okay, let's report this correctly. I have no idea, but this seems to be accurate now for some reason. And this GPU here is, I think, it's just for my recording in the background. So um, memory RAM is 10 out of, I guess, 14, 15 gigs because I have some dedicated towards graphics here. So everything's holding steady. CPU usage is pretty steady too. It's using something, and that's probably for recording. So yeah, the image has finished generating, and like I said before, it does look like a very large person that's just using the computer, even though we specified a cat sleeping on a gaming desktop computer looking very warm and fuzzy. But I think it's interesting here to know that with this image generation here, it starts out blurry, but then eventually sharpens up for at the very last moment. Also, I think the quality loss here is due to the fact that this model is quantized. And so I think what we should probably do next is kind of explore Comfy UI. At least that's pretty much it for now. We'll continue this in another video. I do want to still explore if we can somehow get custom models into this install of Comfy UI so that we can generate more interesting things from this workflow here. So it is the next day, and we did generate a few images. So based off of what we've seen so far, a quantized model like Flux medium quality is definitely going to show some sort of artifacts or like hallucination when it comes to image generation. I would say that if you have the opportunity to just probably make sure that the prompt is very strong, or may not be worth to use such a very strong model if your use case is pretty simple. Here I just wanted to see how like good of a quality I could actually of an image I could actually generate here. So we did a lot of image creation, and now there's a enhance. So I'm wondering what this one is for now. And I think this is for like editing an image. And for this one, I can't really see right here. So for this one, I guess we had to choose some other model. In this case, how about we do a sketch to photo? So we're gonna draw something, and then we could turn it into something that looks way better, I guess. So let's try that. I wonder if we can just draw and paint something very simple, and then hopefully turn it into something very pretty. So I have my tablet somewhere here. I'm not even sure if it's like installed, but yeah, it's not installed. Okay, so let's just use our mouse to draw something. In this case, if I go to MS Paint, I wonder if we can create like an image that maybe like a forest, probably. So we can have some trees, right? Some trees, maybe evergreen. Let's see how well a model can turn this mess into something interesting. So let's save that. Let's just save it to desktop. Let's see, campfire, nighttime campfire, maybe. Okay, so let's import that into AI Playground. This is the first time I'm actually doing this, so we can turn sketch to photo. Okay, so maybe here is where we want. So okay, so let's see here. We want, I don't know if we care about upscaling, but sketch to photo HD quality. Let's go for, yeah, let's stick with our 640 height resolution. Let's just crank it up. Let's take a random seed. Then let's I guess leave everything by default. Oh, right here, it's supposed to be this one. All right, sure. So maybe this side is something else. I don't know. Reference image. How does this work? Is it, let's see. Is a reference image kind of like maybe the feel of it? Let's see. So let's just try searching for something. Nighttime campfire, forest, evergreen. Okay. Maybe something like this, and then let's say lake. So probably something like this, maybe. Or like this. Let's try this. Okay. So I wonder if we can easily save this picture. I don't even know where we got it. We lost it. Let me just save it this way. So save image. Okay. And then let's load this image here. Maybe this is like the reference image. And then we can have a prompt. Evergreen trees, or actually a nighttime campfire scene with a starry purple night sky surrounded by evergreen trees by a lake. Okay, so we'll take this sketch, maybe use this as a reference. Again, this is the first time I'm doing this. I don't know what to expect. I guess this is only 20 steps. Given that I'm upscaling at only 1.5, I expect this to not be too bad. So I'll hit generate. Oh, workflow. Okay, please go. What was that say? Please go to settings and change from workflows to default. Okay, sure. Okay, so let's just do that again. Confirm. Okay, so let's go for 896 instead. High quality. 768, sure. 50 steps, generate that. Negative prompt. Maybe this was the one that we're supposed to do. Okay, so this looks okay. I think for models, I think we're probably okay too. Okay, so this should be it. Okay, so I think this is how we're supposed to do the prompt. And I'm not sure if this is about upscaling or transforming the image. Maybe it should have been something like this image prompt. Not too sure now. In Paint. Oh, this is just upscaling. I see. So how do we? Was it then this one here that we were supposed to use? So yeah, this is create maybe. So let's do this. Maybe it's part of the create, which kind of makes sense now, I think. Let's try that. There we go. I think this is what we wanted. Okay. So that's going to be a while to download. Okay, so let's see what happens. We're going to get some pretty picture. Did I even hit generate? Let's see here. I hit generate, but I don't see anything happening. This is just image editing things, I guess. So I'm not sure. Maybe I have the wrong idea for how this actually works. Well, actually, now my computer feels like it's locked up, so it might be doing something. Yep, it's doing something. Cool. It just took a while. Okay, so we'll leave that to generate. Not even sure what we're going to get. I'm not even sure if the settings here match up with whatever is here. I should have probably read the documentation, but we'll come back to it while I'll edit the waiting app. I guess we should also look at stats here. I think by now we should know that whether or not things progress is based off of how much VRAM is being used. In this case here, we're not using much VRAM yet, so I'm assuming that We still haven't gotten to the point where we're loading up the model. And the GPU is running pretty cool too at 54C. So not sure what's going on. Something should be happening. It says generating. And the GPU is only at, oh, okay, here we go. Yeah, I was gonna say it's only at 15 watts, but it looks like something's happening now. 2.4, 2.7 gigs, 31 watts. Still very little power usage. And keep in mind that we don't have resizable bar enabled, right? So I'm sure this card will be much faster if resizable bar was enabled. Maybe I could do a follow-up in the future when I'm actually using this card for my home lab scenarios. But yeah, for now, just like kind of understand that there is potential for this card here. Again, 31 watts, no other power being applied to it, and running very, very, very quiet. So good card so far. So we'll let that generate, and we'll see what we get. Again, I haven't ever done this before. This is my first time, so if I have the wrong idea of something, I'll probably just still leave it in just to show. But it looks like it's doing it. It is similar to the image that I drew. Okay, so it's about to wrap up, and let's check the stats here. About 64 degrees CPU temperature, 67 ish. We maxed out like 44 watts, so very, very low power. But wow, this is what we got. Not a bad picture. I honestly feel like it's hard to tell whether or not that actually came from this, because it's like this type of stuff is pretty common to generate, and plus I kind of gave a lot of hints on the prompt. I should stop this because I clicked on it multiple times. But yeah, like I'm gonna do this. I'm going to draw something else and then see if it's actually really following my picture, my reference picture here, because I think there's a lot of stuff online that just has this type of foresty night campfire type of picture. So let's do something more interesting, or not interesting, but something like for sure we know that it's going to follow. And I'm just gonna draw a portrait, like a self-portrait of a woman, and then and see if it actually then that it'll adhere to the prompt. that's a woman, so that's my version. Okay, so maybe let's see. I should probably like give her some ears too. Okay, there we go. Let's see. Save as PNG. Okay, so woman.png. Okay, so let's see. Oh, I need some eyebrows too. Missing a lot of pieces here. I got a mouth, I got a nose, some eyes, some eyebrows, some ears, a neck that is like, okay, maybe that will get mistaken for two necks. So let's see, just erase that. And then the shoulders. Okay. I actually don't think that's bad with the mouse. All right, so let's do another one. Let's load up the image. Okay. And now let's do another prompt. Let's see. Glamour. Let's see. Glamour headshot of a woman in black and white. Let's see. Attractive. Subtle smile. Okay. So it'll be like one of those magazine covers, I would say. If it generates something close to this, and then I would say this is working. Otherwise, I feel like it's just generating whatever's like super common. So this will be like a good reference one for us, and I'll come back to it. So actually, I kind of want to record this because this is looking. It was looking pretty freaky before, but now it's starting to shape correctly. But at some point, it was looking really creepy when it was generating this image. So I still feel like something is not right here. Like the hair, like I drew hair a certain way, and I'm not getting that hair. So. And I feel like because of that, it doesn't really feel like it's adhering to my prompt. I'm not even sure if I should even finish this because it just doesn't feel like that's what I. Maybe it is what I drew. Maybe it is. Okay, to be fair, there was nothing in the background. This has nothing in the background too. But I should probably draw maybe something that will kind of signal that there is something in the background. Let's draw maybe a table, a desk. No, that's boring. Let's draw, you know what, let's just draw a desk. Okay, yeah, just keep it simple. Let's eraser. I don't know how to draw that. Okay, well, this is actually good because if it draws something in the background, that means it actually followed the prompt, right? So this is not bad. It's but I just still don't feel like it's mine. So let's do this. Let's load this image up again. But how come it's not working? Oh, it's still not done. That's why. Okay. Oh, I double clicked again. Okay. Or maybe I'm just specifying. Oh, it's 4. That's why. Okay. So let's do this. Let's do only one image. Let's load it up again, and we should see a table. This way I can believe that something's happening, but I don't know why. Let's do this, and then just load. Maybe it's because it's the same file name it's trying to cache. Okay, so we should see some sort of thing in the background. I think this is good and all, but it just doesn't feel like, you know, if it doesn't feel like it's part of the reference image. So it is pretty scary in the beginning when you start to see these pictures form. It looks like a ghost, right? So I do see that there's like resemblance of like a desk in the background before, but it gets kind of blown away in other iterations. So I guess it is really using it this time around because it is in the same angle. So yeah, I'll give it that. And I did see like briefly around this corner here that there was some sort of desk. So I'd say that's okay. I guess that would be a pass. I'm not gonna wait any longer because kind of get the idea already, and we kind of saw that there was something here. So I'd say yes, it is actually using this. So okay, I'll just stop. Okay, all right. What else? I think that's it really. I mean, we can do like language models, but I feel like that's kind of easy to do because, well, let's just see how fast this can do. Let's add metrics, max tokens. Let's do 8192. Let's do a substantial model. So I don't know how big 3.5 is, but Mistral, DeepSeek R1 distill Quen, maybe 7 billion. Yeah, let's do 7 billion, and then let's just test it. Hi. Okay, so we need to download the model. So let's download the model. So it's 4 gigabyte model. I expect still about like maybe at most like 12 to 15 tokens per second. I think probably even slower than what we got with GPT OSS, because that was only like 3 billion active parameters versus this one's like a dense 7 billion active parameter model. So we actually get matching we get like a speed that matches with GPT OSS 20B. I would say that then there might be a difference with OpenVINO, but we'll see. You would figure that with OpenVINO, in an Intel card, it would be very optimized. So that's my train of thought, really. But yeah, I really recommend playing around with this stuff. If you have an Intel card, AI Playground. I feel like if you use it for like small things, to small AI tasks, it is very useful. Like for example, just generating basic graphics. I mean, I think I could generate some wallpapers with this thing. So yeah, so it's already responding, I guess. Oh, it's trying to do RAG. Maybe that's optional. Let's see. 7 billion parameter model. If that is taking about 5 gigs of VRAM, then oh, not bad. 18 tokens per second. Okay, so now let's paste in our resizable bar question, and let's see what we get. So it's reasoning, and it's quite fast actually. Wow, I'm impressed. Okay, so let's let it reason and generate an answer. And I thought that GPT OSS answer was very good. At least I learned something from it. I am going to assume that this may not be as good since it is an older model. Maybe, I don't know. Let's see. But it is thinking quite a bit. That's long thinking trace right there. Okay. So it didn't even answer the resizable bar. It just assumed it's like it wanted to start supporting me. Maybe that's just because of the prompt for AI Playground. Like already, this is a kind of like an IT type of answer. If you were to work at like a corporate office and you needed help with, your computer issues, this is like the type of answer that you would probably get in a support website. So I'm just gonna assume that's more of a prompt thing that's going on in the background here. Maybe we can see it in here. Let's see. No, I don't think so. Yeah, unfortunately not. Okay, well, yeah, so we got 19 tokens per second here. Not bad. I thought that was a good pace. It's nothing that would upset me. I mean, that's all I had to show for like demoing this card. I think the last thing is probably just gaming, if anybody's interested. So let's do that real quick. I don't have very strong computer. So, okay. Let's do this. Let's fire up Diablo 4 and see what we can get. Diablo 4. What can we squeeze out of this thing? Okay, just make sure that I'm not gonna blow anyone's ears out. So wait for program to respond. Okay, so the game did end up. Okay, so I tried the game, but that didn't work. It crashed my computer. I guess a potato laptop will always be a potato laptop, no matter. Sorry for the glare. Hold on. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, potato laptop's potato laptop. You can't fix that, but we could do AI, right? So this card here, is a good little card. I like it. But I'm not going to be using it specifically for AI. I'll most likely be using it for VDI scenarios, especially when trying to run virtual machines that may require some 3D acceleration, video transcoding, and things like that. So yeah, I would say I recommend this card. It's a good card. I like it, especially with if any of you want to do AI. There's a lot of AI tools with it, and then also like running llama.cpp is very doable. So LM Studio and things like that, because Vulkan. So it makes it very easy. And then obviously Comfy UI works on this thing too. So yeah, really excited to try it out on a VDI scenario. I'm going to also like kind of redo my server just to make my workflows better. So that's all I had to say. Thanks.